أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students of 11th class, I am Pir Abdul Gani for the first time in this year in front of you. First of all, I welcome all of you to this video lecture which will continue inshallah in the coming days. So today's lecture which I have chosen is a famous English poem that is The Voice of the Rain, and it has been extracted from the English textbook Hornbill. So today in this very lecture I am going to cover first part of the poem, and you must know this point also that the writer of this poem is a well-known American poet, that is Walt Whitman. I hope you must have gone through some of the details about this eminent poet of America, and there is a full lecture on this very writer, and I will inshallah in the coming days share that video with you, and you will get the important features of this American poet. So here I will only I will skip this the introductory things about this poet. So I will directly come to the poem, and let me drive home to you some important points which have been expressed by this very writer in this poem. So my dears, let's get down to the main business, that is the poem. Let's have a look at the poem first, and then and we will try to scan the poem, and we will try to get the most important themes of the poem. But first of all, let's understand the textual message expressed by this very poet in the poem, The Voice of the Rain. So my dears, let us see where this is the poem. This is the poem which I have taken the image of in your textbook. And let me tell you one more thing, that I hope that you must be having your textbook in front of you, and the poem The Voice of the Rain, written by Walt Whitman. Let's now read the poem. I will read it aloud for you, and you will understand. You will try to understand how I am pronouncing the words, because there are some new words in the poem, and it is one of the objectives of this poem that you must learn the words also. You must add to your vocab. So let's read it. And who art thou, said I to the soft falling shower, which strange to tell gave me an answer, as here translated. I am the poem of the earth, said the voice of the rain. Eternal I rise, impalpable out of the land and the bottomless sea, upward to heaven, whence vaguely formed, altogether changed and yet the same. I descend to live the dwarfs, atomies, dust layers of the globe, and all that in them without me wove seeds only latent, unborn. And forever by day and night I give back to life to my own origin, and make pure and beautified for song, shivering time its birthplace after fulfillment wandering. Wrecked or unwrecked, duly with love returns. So my dears, this is the text of the poem, and I hope you must be having a full grip on the words of the poem, especially on the pronunciation of the words which are there in this very poem. And so let us try to see how can we get at the semantical level of the poem. And who art thou, said I to the soft falling shower. The writer, Walt Whitman, here is going to express a conversation between him and rain. There was a time in Walt Whitman's poem when the rains were, when a shower was falling from the skies, from the clouds. It was raining quite softly, and the writer did what right and came out of his house and said something to the rains. And who art thou? Who are you? Who art thou means who are you? Art thou. Thou is the old form of you. Art is the singular form of or. Who are you? In Urdu we can say art means है, thou means tu कौन है, said I to the soft falling shower. A soft falling shower was falling very softly. Rains were coming down, descending from the clouds very softly. It means it was not a torrential rain. It was a soft descending rain. So he said, जिस तरह होती है हम उर्दू में कहते हैं बारिश की फवार, यानी आहिस्ता आहिस्ता बारिश गिर रही थी. And the writer came out of his house and asked the soft falling shower, rain से उसने कहा, बारिशों से कहा, किसने, शायर ने क्या कहा, which strange to tell gave me an answer as he had translated. And the writer tells us, oh, see how strange it was. It was a very peculiar thing which I experienced when the rains answered my question. So हैरानगी की बात ये कि रेन्स ने भी उसके सवाल का जवाब दिया. Or that is why he says strange to tell. So it was a strange thing for the writer when he got the answer from the rains. So how here it is translated, as it translated. So the writer has translated the conversation between him and the rains. I am the poem of the earth, said the voice of the rain. And what did he get the answer from the rains? What was the answer? The rains answered him back. Oh, man, I am the poem of the earth. मैं ज़मीन की एक poem हूँ, ज़मीन की एक नज़म हूँ. ये नज़म क्या होती है? It will be in place to tell you that poem is what? Poem is a thing which comes from the depth of the mind of the writer. So in the poem, there are emotions of the poet, and there is something which is close to the heart of the writer. Poem does not come automatically. It is not everybody's cup of coffee. It is not under everybody's control to write a poem. So making a poem, writing a poem is something special. Writing a poem is a Herculean job for the common man. So poem is something which has music in it. Poem is something which has lesson in it. Poem is something which has a great philosophy to tell, a great philosophy to share. So my dears, poem, when the rains answer the poet that I am the poem of the earth, so what does the poem mean? Here it means all of these things which I have just talked about. So my dears, rains answer, oh, I am the poem of earth. eternal, I rise, impalpable, out of the rain and the bottomless sea. So what does it say? He says, this rain, the voice of the rain says, I am eternally rising. I am always rising. Eternal means Hamesha. So Hamesha, I am forever rising. Means rising from the earth, going to the sky, cooling down, and descending in the form of rain. My dear students, so you must be thinking, the science students, medical students, I think they must have, it must have come to their mind the water cycle. I think that water cycle will be in your mind still. So you will be trying to compare the thoughts of the poem to the water cycle. Here the voice of rain says, oh man, I am eternally rising to the skies in the form of clouds, and then I am descending back to earth. And the bottomless sea, bottomless means which has no depth, which is very deep. सो अथाह गहरा समंदर, उससे मैं उर्दू में कहूँगा दो तीन बातें. ये रेन्स की आवाज़ आती है, शायर से कहती है कि देखो ए इंसान, मैं हमेशा से उठती हूँ ज़मीन से और ज़मीन की अथाह गहराइयों से, यानी समंदरों से. माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, आपको ये पता होगा कि जो बादल जो हैं, बादल कहाँ से बनते हैं? बादल समंदरों से ही बनते हैं. यानी समुद्र में, ये आपको मालूम है, समुद्र में जब बुखारात ऊपर जाते हैं तो वो क्लाउड्स की सूरत इख्तियार करते हैं. तो ये क्लाउड्स जब सर्द हो जाते हैं तो वो फिर उसी हालत में वापस आ जाते हैं ज़मीन पर. तो दरअसल यही बात कहता है वॉल्ट विटवीन राइटर से ये वॉइस ऑफ रेन. और क्या कहता है? Upward to heaven, Venus vaguely formed, altogether changed and yet the same. अब देखो, upward to heaven में आसमान हूँ. Here, heaven does not mean here जन्नत. Heaven means आसमान. So मैं ऊपर जाती हूँ आसमानों की तरफ, upward. जहाँ क्या होता है? Venus means जहाँ. Venus vaguely formed, altogether changed and yet the same. जहाँ मैं फिर से फॉर्म हो जाती हूँ, जहाँ मैं फिर से पैदा हो जाती हूँ, यानी जहाँ मैं फिर से बनती हूँ, नई शक्ल इख्तियार करती हूँ. ऑल टुगेदर चेंज, जहाँ पूरी तरह से चेंज होती हूँ. एंड एट द सेम. बुखारात ए गैसियस फॉर्म, रेन द लिक्विड फॉर्म. So liquid form, this gaseous form is changed to liquid form. That is what the voice of rain says here. So voice of rain says to the man, oh man, I am getting upwards. I am getting to the skies. I am rising to the skies. Then there takes place a change on me. I am getting changed altogether, but yet the same. But I am the same. So मैं फिर वही हूँ, यानी फिर वही हूँ, फिर भी वो, यानी जो पानी बनता है, बुखारात फिर पानी बनते हैं. तो इसीलिए कहता है कि yet फिर भी मैं सेम हूँ. Now let us get to the next line. I descend to live the droughts, atomies, dust layers of the globe. I descend, मैं गिरती हूँ. I am falling down. Do you know why? To lay the droughts, to wash the droughts. Droughts means famines, dryness of land when there are no rains. And for your best information, it has started raining outside, my dears. So droughts means when there are no rains. When there are no rains on earth, what happens to our earth? The crops dry up, our land dries up. So there is no wetness on the ground, so crops fail to grow. So that is why when there are droughts, this voice of rain tells the man, oh man, do you know, when I descend down, when I fall down, I end the droughts. I leave the atomies. I leave the atomies means I wash every mode of life, every part of life. Atomy means very small thing. Every mode of he washes every mode of life. So my dears, dusty layers of the globe, wherever there's any dust on the earth, I wash it off. I wash it off. So rain say, the voice of rain say, I drain it off. There remains no particle on earth which I don't wash, which I don't bathe. So here he bathes. He gives a bath to every mode of life. Rain, the voice of rain says to them, and all that in them without me will seeds only, latent, unborn. Or do you know, man, if I do not descend from the sky, do you know what will happen to our earth? The seeds will not grow. And you know, medical students better understand that seeds need water, seeds need the light of the sun, seeds need the earth where it can be put into in order to germinate. So my dears, it is the rain, the voice of rain says that without me, without the rain, every seed will dry up where it is sown. Every seed will dry up, it will get rotten if there is no water for it to grow. So rain will say, oh man, without me, no seeds will grow. Every seed will remain latent, hidden. Latent means hidden. And that will not come out, that will not germinate. And unborn, it means it will not get birth. And forever, by day and night, I give back life to my own origin. And forever. And हमेशा रात दिन मैं अपने ही ओरिजिन को क्या करती हूँ, बर्थ देती हूँ, जन्म देती हूँ. Means rains rise from the sea, get to the earth, cool down, then descend to the earth, and then get drained to its birthplace. As you know, the birthplace of rain is the sea, where it changes into liquid gaseous form by the heat of the sun, and then it gets lifted to the sky, and then it comes down once again in the form of rains and reaches where it has got birth. यानी ये ज़मीन से समंदर से ही उठती है, समंदर इसकी बर्थ प्लेस है, तो ऊपर जाती है, ऊपर से फिर कूल डाउन हो जाके फिर बारिशों की सूरत में फिर ज़मीन पर आती है और ज़मीन में ड्रेन ऑफ हो जाकर फिर समंदर में पहुंचती है. तो इसका मतलब है फिर अपनी जन्म प्लेस, जन्म भूमि पर पहुंचता है. तो रेन्स इंसान को कहते हैं, राइटर से कहते हैं कि मैं फिर अपने ओरिजिन पर पहुंचती हूँ, बल्कि अपनी ओरिजिन प्लेस को मैं फिर ज़िंदगी देती हूँ. यानी जब समंदर से ऊपर पानी चला जाता है गैसियस फॉर्म में, क्लाउड्स की सूरत में, बखारत की सूरत में, तो पानी की लेवल समंदर में कम भी हो सकती है इससे, लेकिन ऊपर जाती है फिर आती है, ये वाटर साइकिल जो है, तो फिर इसी समंदर में वापस आती है, तो उसको फिर देती है जिंदगी. एंड मेक प्योर एंड ब्यूटीफाई इट, और क्या करती है, प्योर बनाती है और ब्यूटीफाई करती है किसको, हमारी न सिर्फ ज़मीन को बल्कि समंदर को जहाँ से इसका जन्म हुआ था. और आखिर में शायर क्या कहता है, for song issuing from its birthplace, after fulfillment wandering, wrecked, unwrecked, till with love return. तो यहाँ शायर अपनी कुछ बात दरअसल कहता है. for song, एक गीत जो होता है, एक नज़म जो होती है, जब वो अपनी बर्थ प्लेस से निकलती है और फिर उसके मुतालबात पूरे हो जाते हैं, फुलफिलमेंट, फिर वांडरिंग करते हुए रैक्ड और अनरैक्ड, ड्यूली विद लव रिटर्न, फिर अपनी जगह पहुंचती है. कहाँ पहुंचती है, फिर अपनी जगह पहुंचती है. ये अपनी जगह कौन है, इसकी बर्थ प्लेस. तो यहाँ दरअसल शायर अपनी नज़म की बात कहता है कि एक सॉन्ग जो दिल से निकले, सॉन्ग तो होता है पोयम, जब कोई शायर गीत बनाता है और उसको गाया जाता है तो उसके उस गाने में, उस नज़म में उसके जज्बात पोशीदा होते हैं, फिर वो गाकर چاہے اس کی بات کوئی ریکڈ اور آن ریکڈ یعنی کوئی سنے یا نہ سنے، چاہے اس کی بات پر کوئی عمل کرے، اس کے گیت کو سنے یا نہ سنے، یا اس کے گیت کو سمجھے یا نہ سمجھے، لیکن اپنا کام کر کے وہ پھر آتی ہے اس کے دل میں، یعنی اٹ کمز بیک ٹو اٹس اون برتھ پلیس. یعنی سانگ جب شاعر بناتے ہیں نا شاعر نظم، تو دراصل وہ شاعر کے دل سے نکلتے ہیں وہ الفاظ. تو جب اس کو گایا جاتا ہے تو گانے کے بعد پھر واپس آتے ہیں وہ جذبات نظم کی صورت میں اپنی ہی جگہ، یعنی اس کے دل میں، شاعر کے دل میں. تو میرے پیارے بچوں، مائی ڈیئر اسٹوڈینٹس، آئی ہوپ یو مسٹ ہیو انڈرسٹوڈ دا text of the poem, and inshallah in the next lesson we will try to understand the lesson thematically اور کسی اور بھی سطح پر ہم اس کو فلاسفیکلی بھی ہم اس کو جاننے کی کوشش کریں گے کہ شاعر نے کن جذبات کا اظہار اس میں کیا ہے. تھینک یو ویری مچ. انشاءاللہ I will come back in my next lesson.